A matter of fact, we all know that the inhabitants of England are not descended only from the Angles and Saxons who invaded the island and made themselves masters of it. When these adventurers arrived, they found there the original Celtic population, with whom the Romans had mingled their blood, and after the Angles and Saxons had consolidated their power, the Danes came, and after them the Normans. Moreover, for centuries now, there has been an assessment infiltration of the Celtic blood from Wales and Scotland and Ireland. The English language may be Anglo-Saxon in its skeleton, but it is largely Norman French because that's who was colonizing all the Muslim dominions. And the stock that speaks the English language very far from being predominantly Anglo-Saxon, rather is it Anglo-Celtic. It has lost consciousness in its diverse origin. I'm going to say that again. It has lost consciousness of its diverse origins, and it thinks of itself as right English. So that's exactly today. Those that call themselves Cornish today, but they say they live in Cornwall, England, Anglo-Saxon, Anglican, they all invaded that land. And you've been colonized and you've been Europeanized and you're going with everything they told you. You've been tricked. So really you're the traitor, because the Cornish, just like the language is almost extinct, that's because you all allowed yourself to be Europeanized. We know what we mean by a Celtic language, and in the grammar of each language, we are able to produce a most perfect scientific definition of its real character. If therefore we transfer the term Celtic to people, we can, if we use our words accordingly, mean nothing but people who speak a Celtic language, the true exponent, the very life of Celtic nationality. Whatever people, whether Romans or Saxons or Normans, or as some think even Phoenicians and Jews, settled in Cornwall, if they ceased to speak their own language and exchanged it for Cornish, they are before the tribunal of the science of language Celts, and nothing but Celts. While wherever Cornish men like Sir Humphrey Davy or Bishop Colenso have ceased to speak Cornish and speak nothing but English, they are no longer Celts, but true Teutons, or Saxons in the only scientifically legitimate sense of that word. Measured by this rule, there are few Celts on American soil, and where they do appear as Welsh or Irish branches, the second generation refuse to remember the parent tongue. You got to honor your foremothers and forefathers. The loudest champion of Celtic societies use Anglo-Saxon terminology to explain his pet theories. He lives in the spirit of Shakespeare, Chaucer, Spencer, and the Bible, about 60% Saxons in structure, and that's why I said you've been Europeanized. He is a citizen of the Anglo-Saxon Commonwealth, which Commonwealth is the loose confederation of a British empire. The Republic of Words, each word a palace of human thought, and the only vehicle by which the Celtic express himself. And every word has its relative strength in history and the relative strength of the human mind. But see, we only, 40% of what our ancestors used to practice? In every other Cornish district, the names of the villages bear record of a swarm of Celtic, Welsh and Breton saints who fasted in caves, had unearthly visions, worked miracles, set up crosses, and founded churches. There is not a trace of these ghostly figures when the coast path is followed from Helston through Mullion Cove to Lizard Point. All of that territory was the Moorish Empire, all of it. So if it speaks of Welsh and Breton saints setting up crosses and founding churches, if they were setting up Christian churches there like that, that was colonization, man, because it was a Muslim dominion, and the French and Britain, all of them conspired to take out all the Holy Land with the Holy War with the Order of Cross. We already have the demonstration in regards to the Moors being pushed out of Ireland. So every bloodline has traitors. But all I'm saying is, once you know the truth, are you going to move forward and say you're from England or Anglican or Anglo-Saxon when you know they're colonizers? Every bloodline played their part in being a traitor, but now it's time to stand upright, independent and fearless, and stand for what the truth is. And what's right is what's right, and what is wrong is what's wrong. And it can't be at the same time. All of the language that we speak is French and all kinds of different stuff, man. All the colonizers done got into the language. That's why I'm speaking on this Cornish language that's almost going extinct. Husos Imbriunve. So the Cornish are the true Celtic. The Kernow language is the true origin of the Celtic language. Like Noble Drew Ali said, learn Moorish Latin. Honor your foremothers and forefathers, whether it's language, food, your diets, principles in society that keeps us all unified and in harmony so that we don't break down and have arguments. But first of all, a type of dignity that can't be bought with a morsel of bread or with this money that the colonizer offers. Statue of Cornish 10 to commemorate regiment's part played in the war. What war? The Holy War between the Christians and the Moslems. England, January 18th, correspondence of the Associated Press. A statue made entirely of Cornish 10 because Cornish are known as being miners and the salt in Austria, is to be erected here to commemorate the part played by the Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry Regiment in the war. The design of the statue will be submitted to the Prince of Wales, who is what? Colonel-in-chief of the regiment. Colonial, colonization. Every bloodline has the traitor that will go with the other side for a morsel of bread. And those are the ones today riding around in the Nazi sleds or the Mercedes-Benz, the Lexuses, buying all these expensive sunglasses and these big old houses. All of them has been Europeanized or materialized. And they'll sell their very spirit, soul, flesh for just a morsel of it. 6 families of Celtic race. Now we're speaking in regards to nationality and our race being the human race. Preliminary steps have been taken in Philadelphia for the organization of an association to embrace the 6 different families of the Celtic: the Irish, Scotch, Highland, Welsh, Manx, Cornish, and Breton. The Constitution sets forth that the association is for the purpose of instituting in the city a library, museum, and art gallery, all illustrative of Celtic literature and history, that is to be non-political or non-partisan. And there you go. Non-political, non-partisan. They don't want civics to be involved. Like partisan, that's someone who's zealous and a zealous supporter, someone who's down for what's going on. They want to know. They want to study. They want their civics. They want to know what's going on. This is what they're trying to do, is dumb us down. They don't want civics or the knowing of law or self-independence of government. They want none of that. So I've proven through the language that we've been colonized and Europeanized, materialized, everything they set us up to be so that we won't be independent. If you're saying that you're from England, you're part of the problem. You're saying that you're a party to the colonization. It's proven. England, Anglican, Anglo-Saxon, Portugal, London, all surrounding all around Ireland. It's the order of the cross or the order of the Christ, either by blind force or knowing. But once you know, if you continue to turn that wheel, then justice will come. But that's why I'm asking for all my Cornish brothers and sisters, study your language and change your ways. In the demonstration you've seen in the reading, the Welsh, Irish, all of the other brothers, they totally lost all sense of their ancestors. And the Cornish is almost like the custodian as far as the Kernow language and the nationality of the Cornish. We stayed true to the old time while the rest allowed all their stuff to be raped. All of their language has French and different things in it. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. Peace and love.